Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. We're going to talk about some relationship vocabulary, very similar to the vocabulary activity that you did at the very beginning of class. So, at the very, wherever you are in your notes, I'm going ahead and I'm moving to a new page now. I first want to start with the word double. So I'm going to write the word double. And today, when we were matching up and trying to find partners, we said that what did the word double mean to us? We were thinking that it means two times something. Another word that we were talking about that would mean two times is the word twice. Sometimes you think about the word twice and you think about adding it twice. Okay? And then, of course, the word two times means two times. So these are all grouped together because they basically mean that we're either doubling the number by adding it together twice, or we are multiplying by 2. So the inverse operation, the opposite of that would be 1/2. So remember a couple weeks ago when I said we would be getting into this vocabulary again and talking about 1/2, we said 1/2 really means divide. So when I think about the number 1/2, what does that mean? That means that I have a picture, and if I have the fraction 1/2, one whole picture, and this little fraction symbol means divide. We're going to divide this into 2 equal pieces, and we have 1/2 pieces. So that's what that fraction means when we see it. It means 1 divided into 2 equal pieces. Alright, so I'm going to move over here and I'm going to go ahead and write the word triple. And what does the word triple mean? Well, triple just means 3 times. We have triple the amount. Sometimes we see it described with using the words 3 times. I'm going to see that vocabulary a little bit this week. Or times 3. And then, of course, if we want to think about the inverse of that, we would be thinking about the word 1/3. And so again, when I think about that fraction 1/3, I think about a picture, one whole picture. There's my fraction bar, so that means I'm going to divide it. And I'm going to divide it into 3 equal pieces. So if I divide my picture into 3 equal pieces, then I have 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. Okay? And 3/3 gives you that whole piece again. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and skip a line or two, probably 2. I'm going to add a little color. I forgot to change colors, but I'm going to add a little color, and I'm going to call this 4 times. Sometimes we hear 4 times the amount. It's just simply multiplying by the number 4. Sometimes we're going to see the word quadruple. And that also means 4 times the amount. And then if we think about the word 1/4, that would be our inverse action, where we're dividing by 4. So when I think about that, again, I write my fraction 1/4. And if I have my whole picture, and I think about my fraction bar, it means divide. Divide how into 4 equal pieces. So I could cut this to 4 equal pieces. So I have a fourth, a fourth, a fourth, and a fourth. So 4 fourths added together will give me back my 1 whole. So there's 2 other words that I want to throw at you real quick, and those are the 2 words would be additive. So we talk a lot about additive relationships in 5th grade. And additive relationships are any adding or subtracting relationships. It sounds weird because we refer to it as additive and there's no subtractive, it's only additive. But whenever we are talking about additive relationships, the only relationships that we will see in that will be adding and subtracting. So I'm going to write a quick example here. It's going to be an example that probably looks familiar to you. I'm going to draw a quick little table. Did a little table activity last week or the week before, I believe, on a Thursday. And we're going to call this our input column. And this is going to be our output. So if I'm thinking about the left-hand side being 1 and the output is 3, and if I'm thinking about the input as 5 and the output is 7, I have to think about that relationship there. And I might even think about the output as 10 and the input being the number 8. So when I think about how are these related, I have to think about what action or what relationship is happening between input and output. So of course, I bet many of you are already thinking this, that if I take the number 1 and I add 2, I will get the answer 3. If I take the number 5 and I add 2, I will get the number 7. But if I take the number 10 and I subtract 2, I will then get the number 8. So this relationship here is an add and an adding and a subtract. It's an additive relationship, which means we're adding and we're subtracting the number 2. The number 2 doesn't change, but depending upon which direction you're going, changes the action that's happening here. Okay? Another relationship that we talk about in 5th grade is our multiplicative. Say that with me very quickly. Multiplicative, multiplicative, multiplicative. It's kind of a fun word to say. And so a multiplicative relationship is any multiplying or dividing relationship that we see in a table. So just like we did with our additive relationships, we're going to put a quick table in here. So I'm going to call this one X and this one Y. Make a quick table. Cut it down the middle. And we'll make this one a pretty easy one. So if I start on the left with the number 5 and my Y number is 10, probably thinking about what can happen there. This should help clear your thinking. If I put in 12 under the X column and out comes the number 24. So what kind of relationship do you see happening there? Well, we're multiplying by 2. Now, if I were to take the number 36 and put it under the Y, I would have to think about the inverse of that, which would be divide by 2, and out would come the number 18. Or even if I put in the number 50 and I wanted to figure out what that x column number would be, I would divide by 2 and I could get the number 25. Okay? So the word that I keep using over and over again is the word inverse, and inverse means opposite. You're going to hear that word a lot, so I would encourage you to write this down. Okay, I'm going to pause this video, or I'm going to stop this video, and I'll meet you back in a minute to wrap things up with one last piece.